Hi, I'm Jonathan McLeod.
And I'm Jasmine Freitas. Welcome to Brooklyn College News.
Our top story is the tuition hike. No doubt you've heard about it, but we have details you might not know. Jasmine and I both did the legwork. Brooklyn College students face financial trouble. A 5% tuition increase is going to take a bite out of their wallets.
So, I'm paying, $2,500 for a college education right now, a semester. 5% could mean, $3,000.
It also means trouble for incoming students counting on the current lower tuition. New York Public Interest Research Group is trying to alert students.
In less than a year, there will be about a 7% increase in tuition. And what we're doing today is trying to get students aware that tuition will go up.
It's something that our students haven't had the opportunity to prepare for, and because of that, it's, I think, necessary for every student to look at how it's going to impact them.
Brooklyn College officials are concerned, but they also point out that students receiving financial aid won't be affected.
40% or so of our student body are actually going to see virtually no impact.
So that means many students won't feel the pain of the tuition hike, but it is still a difficult problem for a large number of students who pay their own way without financial assistance. Jonathan McLeod, Brooklyn College News.
Homelessness continues in New York City, and the number in shelters and on the street continues to grow. The latest count is 37,000 without homes.
Here at Brooklyn College, there's a campaign to put a face to the homeless. Melanie Sherry and Yermina Mello have our report.
I never thought that I would be homeless, never. The shocker.
He's typical of the people we met at the New York Public Interest Research Group's seminar on campus.
Graduated high school, did a little college.
It's a tough situation. At the panel, we learned more than 14,000 in homeless shelters are children. Joanne Ramsey of NYPIRG says it can happen to anyone.
Poverty is very high in New York City, therefore it's a very good chance that people just like you and me can end up homeless during our lifetime.
Now homeless and unemployed, Kendall Jackman worked most of her life, and she's in a shelter.
And I didn't find an apartment to move into before my lease was up.
Students who listened at the seminar say they learned a lot.
I think it affected me actually much more than I anticipated it would. It really humbled me. I remembered that many years ago, out of my own stubbornness, I had a fight with my girlfriend and I spent like a night on subway. It's so silly. But I remember that night, I remembered the coldness of that night. And I thought to myself that, what I did was my choice. I couldn't even imagine being there because I have to.
Homelessness can happen to any of us. What we learned from the panel is to be more aware. Melanie Sherry, Brooklyn College News.
If you have a job, it may be possible to lift yourself out of homelessness, but a new study shows that unemployment is a major problem for young black men.
The Community Service Society, a not-for-profit organization, found the unemployment among young black men 16 to 24 years old was 33.5% in the first half of 2010.
Matthew Vann is following the story of black male unemployment.
It's still a struggle.
Black men are struggling to find work. Some say that black male unemployment has reached an epidemic level.
I got fired, because I was the last one that got hired. Now I can't even get unemployment because I worked there for about 45 days, and then I just got laid off immediately.
Even as the economy recovers and the national unemployment rate is at 10%, black male unemployment is a staggering 18%, and this has major consequences.
When you have just tens of thousands of people who are out of work, it tends to destabilize.
David Jones heads a community service society. His research investigates what the consequences of black male employment are for everyone else.
There are problems of increased crime that we're already seeing the signs of. There's problems of substance abuse. As people despair, they tend to turn to those kinds of things.
So why are so many African American men unemployed? Some say they are now competing with immigrants.
And it's tough. The Mexicans really get all the jobs in the black people community. It's sad.
Academics put the immigration issue aside and blame the lack of focus on education in black communities.
We also need to shorten the gap in achievement between blacks and whites, which really isn't, again, about achievement. It's about investment. If we invested in urban schools, if we invested in training programs, then people would have the requisite skills to be able to make it.
Doing that may take a while, but nonprofits like the Harlem-based Strive are trying to get hard-to-employ people ready for work. But it's not so easy.
A lot of people actually don't have jobs because not lack of experience, but attitudinal training. They don't have good attitudes or an approach about work.
For those who have a good attitude, there are other problems that make it tough.
As a convicted felon, we all know it's very hard to find gainful employment. You know, if you don't have a trade or skill, it's hard enough to find employment.
Though non-for-profits are making the difference, depending on them can only do but so much. Experts say that for African-American men, it's a matter of thinking outside of the box and changing your attitude to get those hard-to-find jobs. In Harlem, Matthew Van, Brooklyn Cable News.
We have something special for our Hispanic viewers. Melissa Colorado reported a story for Telemundo about the DREAM Act.
Julia Aguilar es una joven de 17 años que sueña de ser psicóloga, pero aunque es una estudiante trabajadora, su sueño podría ser una meta inalcanzable.
Ahora estoy buscando una carrera en que yo pueda hacerlo sin los papeles.
La joven hondureña atravesó la frontera con su madre hace 5 años. Julia es uno de los 2 millones de jóvenes indocumentados que beneficiaría del DREAM Act, una ley que, si es aprobada, legalizaría su estatus si completa 2 años de universidad o de servicio militar.
Estoy pidiéndole a Dios, estoy pidiendo que por favor se pueda lograr.
Otro que está rezando es Francisco Curiel, un joven mexicano de 18 años que aspira de un futuro fuera de su condado de Queens.
Veo Manhattan, veo a esa gente profesional corriendo para un lado para otro. Quiero ser como una persona de ellos. Quiero ser como ellos. Quiero contribuir al país como ellos.
Alguien que sí ha contribuido a este país es el senador estatal José Peralta, que tiene un mensaje para los jóvenes.
Si desafortunadamente no pasa esta vez, hay que seguir empujando, porque no solamente para ellos, pero también para sus hermanos, sus hermanas, sus familiares que vienen atrás de ellos. Es bien importante seguir empujando porque eventualmente vamos a ganar.
Algo por lo que Francisco ya está listo para enfrentar.
No nos vamos a dar por vencidos. Si tenemos que estar aquí el próximo año, los próximos 2 años, vamos a estar aquí haciendo llamadas, vamos a estar aquí protestando, dándoles a conocer, dándoles a entender a ellos el propósito de tener una buena educación.
Y sin esa buena educación, estos jóvenes brillantes podrían ser forzados de ir a otro país, donde quizás Julia podría realizar su sueño de ser psicóloga. Reportando desde Nueva York, Melissa Colorado, Telemundo.
That's our newscast for now. We hope you've enjoyed it. I'm Jonathan McLeod.
And I'm Jasmine Freitas. We'll see you again.